Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So Trickstars, finally everything is on YgoPro, so we can finally test them out. This is like the first time that I've been playing this deck, and well, the past couple of days really, and actually the first time that I uploaded these new cards on the channel. So the last card that got revealed, I believe everyone already has seen the new cards, but the last card that got revealed was Trickster Sweet Devil. The Dueling monsters for Trickstars aren't really too great, their effects aren't really too great. The biggest advantage of them is that they're easy to summon. You only need two monsters, Trickster monsters, to get them on board. Most of the time, if I link summon with this deck, I go for Holly Angel, since she has the two markers linked down below, right? Down the left and right corner, while Sweet Devil only has markers pointed to the left and to the right, which isn't too great. So probably Sweet Devil for the moment doesn't really have an effect, or at least it doesn't really have a place in the extra deck, and you might want to replace it with something else, since link summoning is not something you do here with Trickstars. Even with this Windwitch build, or even with the Burn build, you're rarely going to link summon. So a couple of builds you can try out. A lot of people tried out the Burn version, or the hand loop. Well, it's not really a hand loop, it's like the hand turbo deck of drawing into your reincarnation, the trap card that lets you banish your opponent's entire hand, and then they can draw the same amount of cards, and with Troll and Lockbird you can prevent them from establishing or drawing a new hand. Very destructive combo actually, and very good in today's format. But as you saw probably in the OCG as well, people are moving away from first of all the Burn variant and also the hand turbo variant, since it's not really too consistent, and we are seeing all the variants of Trickstars popping up in the OCG. Not too much, since it's not the best competitive deck, and Windwitches first of all are the more competitive deck with or without artifacts, as you already probably have seen. But the Windwitches definitely have some nice synergy with the Burn variant, or at least Burn damage as well, and of course the somewhat invincible Crystal Wing and Synchro monsters. Outside of that, this is currently my build, so again, feel free to leave suggestions. Only 2 of the level 3 one. The Stratos is of course at 3. I'm preferring more hand traps in the build over Honest. With hand traps I mean Ghost, Ogre, Ghost, Ash, etc, etc. But Honest is something I definitely want to add in the main deck again. It's because it's an out to Masterpiece. At least it forces out their Masterpiece on the attack of your light monster. Mind Control is at 3 in the OCG, but it could be main decked here together with Proxy Dragon. But again, you're not really link summoning too much, but Mind Control in the main deck with some Zodiac cards in the extra deck to overlay your opponent's Zodiac monster for your own is also an option. Kaijus are definitely an option in the main deck to get rid of your opponent's Masterpiece, especially the Wind one, since the Windwitches do have that downside that you can only special summon Wind monsters for the rest of the turn. Outside of that, the Mirror Forces, both the Air, the Stormy Mirror Force and the Blazing Mirror Force are definitely options, and the Heavy Dust Storm, the Big Dust Tornado is definitely an option, as we all saw from the OCG lists. Lost Chain Summoning is also a card that can be cruel, but it's not really too consistent. But again, it gives your deck so much advantage if your opponent doesn't have anything to stop it, right, in the form of a hand trap. Then that's the reason why I still prefer triple chain summoning here in the deck. So let's see a few example duels. Alright, a couple of matches ready, not really sure how many, like 5 or 6, but I believe this was one of the first duels actually I had with the deck. So normal summon the Candina and the Stratos of the deck to get a search, and I already use my level 3 one, I'm not going to butcher her name to get her on the board, but they all have the effect that they can deal damage depending on their effect. Candina, the Stratos pretty much deals damage every time when your opponent, I believe, activates a spell or trap, while while the level 3 one, the red one, deals burn damage every time your opponent's like adds a card yeah, from his deck to his hand. And you know, with this, yeah, I believe that the best, at least the biggest advantage of Trickstars is that they have one of the best combos currently in the game with Reincarnation, the Trap card, and Droll and Lockbird. The fact that Droll and Lockbird is one of the best hand traps currently in the game, especially because of the current format, makes this combo very deadly. Your opponent has to play around it if they know you have your set Reincarnation. There's always a threat of you having that Droll and Lockbird, so every time your opponent adds, at least activates Duality or Desires or searches with their True King field spell, there is always the big chance that your opponent has 1, the Reincarnation, and 2, the Droll and Lockbird to chain to your own searching effect. So they have to play around it, and that's also one of the reasons why this deck is still, at least currently, is like an underdog deck. It has potential currently, it has more tops in the OCG compared to Star Grails, but I feel with playing both Star Grails and Trickstars that Star Grails still have more potential and are currently, for the moment with the current support, are better than Trickstars. And again, Trickstars do have more tops in the OCG. So you see here is that with the correct 2/3 card combos, if you open with them, especially with Chain Summoning and the field spell of course, you can like OTK or burn your opponent to death during their first turn. I will leave a link in the article to D-Summons, I believe it's D-Summons block, where he has like multiple 2 and 3 card combinations of Trickstars that you can do, and yeah, most of them are possible combos you can do, lead them to yeah, pretty much burn your opponent to death during their first turn, depending of course how you open the duel, and of course yeah, your opponent not having the hand trap or something like that to stop your combo from going off. The hand traps, yeah, today's formats and previous formats as well, the hand traps are very important. The Ghost Edge, Ghost Ogre, Droll and Lockbird as well, very important to disrupt your opponent's plays. And now I think I should be able to attack for game, indeed. The engine in total, it seems that the Trickstars in today's format, or Trickstars here, are not like the main engine, they're like a sub-engine. It's very good, right? The field spell can search their Stratos, Stratos can search any card, and on top of that the field spell also has that somewhat of a mystical space typhoon effect once per turn. So again, the engine itself is very good, but there's still a lot of downsides, like their link monsters aren't really too great. They're easy to summon, so it's very easy to open up some extra slots in your main monster zone to go for the extra synchro summons or link summons, right? But still, their link monsters aren't really too great. Definitely one of the biggest downsides still for Trickstars. I go for, is it number 43, I believe, the continuous effect. You know, Masterpiece can't respond to that. Well, yeah, he can respond to that, but its effect will just be negated. But the downside is that Masterpiece was unaffected by spells and traps, I believe, and yeah, no kaiju to get rid of it, and the strike is useless against a Masterpiece that's unaffected by traps. Next example, against Dinosaurs, Ghost Ash, Spring, yeah, pretty much his Desires. He already banished 3 cards, and Ghost Ogre the field spell to leave him crippled. My opening hand is good, there is a Droll and Lockbird, which is fine, so I can potentially set up the hand, well yeah, hand lock, hand disruption combo, but he does have the Cyclone to prevent my search for the Candina. So no Stratos search, but I can still go for the somewhat invincible Crystal Wing, right? I did not use the level 7 Synchro monster just in case of Ghost Ogre. You know, I think the most of the time waiting with Ghost Ogre on your level 7 Synchros, that's why I didn't use it. But you know, if you want to use it, you can still use it, but risk the Ghost Ogre if I'm not mistaken. Searched the level 3 indeed, and during the same battle phase you can use both of them to target the same Candina to get them on board and, you know, deal more damage. In this case 1 was enough, but you know, reusing your Trickster Stratos is always good, right? Next example, again I get to start good hands, normal summon the Candy, and I get to search and immediately put the level 3 on the Chain Link and Chain Summoning as a Chain Link 3. So no, yeah indeed, no, I have up to like 3 normal summons during the same turn. and I believe I should be able to burn my opponent to death, since I also opened the reincarnation during my first turn. Indeed, this should be enough to burn my opponent to death, so he already drew, I believe, for this draw phase, so that's already some nice damage, and he adds a card thanks to Pot of Duality. And also he activated a spell card, so Cantina is also going to trigger. And now both reincarnation are going to seal the deal eventually. So yeah, this is like it's restrictive. It's not going to come up a lot, this combo, since you know it's like a 2/3 card combo leading to this burn to death during your opponent's first turn. And on top of that, it's like very easy to interrupt this with hand traps. So that's also one of the reasons why players, at least a lot of OCG players, are moving away from the burn variant and the handlock variant as well, and leaning to more towards like Windwitch variants or maybe artifacts as well. That's a good start for the opponent here. He nicely plays around the draw and Lockbird, prevent him from losing his entire hand and setting the cards here. Okay, the draw Lockbird comes into play since I believe he has Card of the Mice set. Yeah, indeed. Card of the Mice is indeed set with a terraforming as well. So Cantina to get the Surge and Crystal Wind to attack and have some nice damage for the opponent. And still, I should be able to attack for game here. Still in the battle phase, use my level 3's quick effect. And of course, use a trap card as well. Sad that Cantina doesn't activate when it's special summoned. So it's not really like a Stratos, but you know what I mean. Last example, one of the better games I've had with this deck. The opponent is playing with, I believe, is it Windwitches? Windwitch Kaiju, I believe, if not mistaken. Yes, the new Fairy Tale, which I'm going to Ghost Ash, is going to bounce back. It's actually very good, right? You can bounce 2 monsters on the field, including herself, of course, and then 1 monster from your opponent. If your opponent does not send the same targeted monster from either his extra deck or the deck to the graveyard, it won't be negated. So it's actually very good. The one, again, he's able to, like, normal summon the Fairy Tale, try to get the Surge, but I believe I had to Solemn Strike his monster again. There is always a threat of him, like, bouncing back a monster on my side of the field. Draw Chain Summoning indeed, so that's very nice, very nice. He does have Ghost Ash in his hand. Use Chain Summoning to get up to 3 normal summons during this turn, again not using the burn effect of my level 7 Synchro. Go for the Crystal Wing indeed and negate the Ghost Ash Surge to pretty much seal the deal, right? Get some extra normal summons, attack for some nice damage, leave my opponent at, like, I believe about 2k-ish life points remaining, and I think this should be game, right, with a trap card as well. But I wait for some reason. I think I just should have activated the trap card earlier, you know, to disrupt my opponent's hand. But yeah, he has the perfect cards to come back, the Kaijus and the Slumber as well, but you know, it's not going to matter too much. I have the Link option ready, and I can also search out the Lily Blood, and I also have Ring of Destruction set, which, you know, Ring of Destruction can give my opponent the necessary burn damage, not put him to death, but you know the Trickstars do have some extra burn damage effects as well. So with Link summoning the Regeki, it didn't really matter too much, so I can eventually take the last game. So this is currently my build. Feel free to leave suggestions if you want. Link summon, yeah, currently the deck doesn't really Link summon too much. Synchro summon, of course, due to the Windwitches, but I believe for competitive play, this is a little bit better compared to the burn and handlock variant, turbo variant, that is. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.